Hello, everyone. This is Sharon McDonald, and
Nora Johnson.
we're so glad to have you here today with us. And we are going to be helping you today with a little art of asking questions because that's the doTERRA difference. And Nora Johnson, in my opinion, is absolutely the bomb at doing this because she's an expert. So I'm super excited to introduce to you Nora Johnson, mother of 6 beautiful children, works here in Arizona. She lives in Queen Creek and she is married to Kylie Johnson. They are diamond in doTERRA, and she has mastered this very, very well. And I'm going to turn the time over to her.
All right. Thanks, Sharon. Appreciate it. Well, I'm excited to talk about this today. One thing that I love about doTERRA is the way they run their business, and that makes doTERRA different. And so I want to talk a little bit about the way you ask questions and helping other guide them because it comes down to teaching and educating and not telling people what to do. And people don't want to be sold to. They want to have choices. So there's many ways to ask questions and then different times to ask questions. And we're going to kind of go over that.
Okay. So, Nora, tell us why it's important to ask questions. Why questions, questions, questions? Isn't that kind of make me feel like, gosh, that's so much pressure to ask all those questions all the time?
Well, it's not that you're going to ask a lot of questions. It's that you're going to ask certain questions to get a response from them. And that kind of helps you lead you to where to go to next. And then by asking those questions, it makes them feel validated. And then they also feel like it was their choice when you ask questions.
So, I'm not going to sound like a sales pitch.
Correct.
Okay.
That is spot on. That's why you do this. Okay.
So then I'm not pushy either, right?
Yes.
Because that sometimes people just kind of go on and on and on, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So
Telling them what they need to do. Like, you just need to get on Lifelong Vitality and PBS This Plus and whatever else, right?
Oh, the best thing that's going to be for you with this issue is no, that is not you're being too direct. A lot of times people just want you to be kind and gentle and show that you care. So that is the best way to get started.
I love your slide here too, where it talks about kindness. One of the greatest gifts you can bestow upon another if someone is in need is lend them a helping hand. Do not wait for a thank you. True kindness lies within the act of giving without the expectation of something in return. I think that's so true, isn't it?
Right. And when you're trying to help somebody, they just take it as, wow, you're really helping me. And when your heart's right, then it comes across that way too.
So. Perfect.
All right, so what you're going to do here is when you are teaching a class or you're talking to somebody one-on-one, or you just see somebody that's hurting, like on the basketball court and someone's twisted their ankle, whatever the situation is, you are a guest to them. You are going to approach them in a gentle, kind way, and you're going to start asking, like, oh, you're hurt, you've got your ankle hurts, I have something for that. Would you like to try it? In that situation, you're just being a gentle approach. Now, if you're at a class and you just taught them all about the medicine cabinet makeover or reinventing healthcare, and they're like, what steps do I go? How do I do this? Then you can sit down with them one-on-one and say, well, what's the direction you want to go with this? That's one of the first questions you can ask. Let them respond and then go from there.
This is such an art because I think one of the biggest mistakes that people often make when they're doing this as a business and sharing is they become the expert, right? And then they're the message.
Correct.
Right? And then they don't allow people that space to say, here's what I need, because really at the end of the day, we are consultants. That's what we are. We are not the expert we're always going to be the expert to somebody, right? But we're not the expert right then and there, because we don't want to be the go-to people all the time. And as we make that journey, that's fine. But the resources are, I don't know, let's look up in the book. If it's something that we don't know, and even if we do know what it is, using that book as a resource, and then allowing that space and that time to go through that, right?
Right.
So that I'm not going to run right in and go, oh, I totally know what to do for you. Come on, and we'll just get it out and do it. And you have to do this, because that we're not asking questions, right?
Right. You're taking them by the hand and teaching them as you go. That's what you're doing.
Soft and gentle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's just go from the beginning to the end on when you are at the beginning of the class. This will help with people also a little bit in closing. The beginning of the class, I always like to start off with tell me your name, what you know about oils, and what do you plan to get out of this class. 3 simple things, I say.
Say it one more time.
What is your name? Tell me your name, however you're going to phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what do you know about essential oils? And what do you plan on getting out of this class? That will guide you how to help all of them, and hope you would take mental notes, or if you're just starting, write it down, make one little note, and then you can address in your class something that they want from that class. Then that's the start.
I take little note cards with me for that very reason, so I can write things down. And if you like the personality thing where you want to know who are your circles, who are your triangles, and who are your squiggles in the class, you can also say in those situations, who wants the straight skivvy of exactly what is needed and how to go from A to B. How many of you want to get the big picture of what doTERRA is all about and how to use the oils? And how many of you want a combination of the both? Right? Because then people are going to kind of identify themselves, and you can just make a mental note again, right?
And I'm sure Sharon does like I do. They have paper, because I tell them it's a class. And then I say, jot down. If there's more questions, more things that come up, please write them down. That way, when you're talking with them afterwards, you can say, what did you write down? What hit you in this class? Then you can help them. Again, part of your closing, how to close to help them collectively as a class, and then individually when you're talking to them.
Perfect. So we do want to inspire people when we're in our classes, right? Because that's what leaders do. They inspire people to think out of the box, that, wow, natural solutions that's not kind of wacky cuckoo. And I can totally see my family doing that, right?
Right. So then, okay, so we've gone through the class. Okay. Here we've tried oils. It's important to, smell them, touch them, taste them. Not too much, but not too little, so they can have an experience, especially peppermint. So you can see them all involved, and that's what you want. You want people involved in your class. It's not you standing up there lecturing, but if they're involved, they get to touch and see, smell, all those like I've mentioned. Then when you're wrapping up the class, that's when you can ask more questions.
So what you're saying then is that I'm not the message when I teach. Dang it, I got to remember that.
Exactly. The oil, peppermint's the best one. They feel the power of it, and they'll remember that, and go home and say, that peppermint, doTERRA's peppermint's amazing. You just let peppermint be the message.
Right.
And you were just the messenger.
That's right. Okay.
So then when the class is over, here's some other things I like to ask. Okay. What did you get out of this class? And write it down. What products stuck out to you? And then I also like to say, what are you dealing with right now? Or some family members or someone really close to you, what are they dealing with? And to have them write it down. So again, I'm asking some more questions and letting them think about that. Okay. And when they tell you what their issues are, you don't just rush in. Okay, here's what you do. I, again, will ask more questions. I don't want to load them up with too much. I want to have a gentle approach. And from the experiences I've had and many others, I would suggest you start with this is kind of what I would say. And then we can go from there. So what if they say, I'm just not sure about all this. What would you say to that, Sharon?
Well, the success in any business is to make sure that especially in this one, just again ask the question, what are you wanting to get out of this? What's important to your family? Because the whole point of our class is to help people become self-reliant, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true. So put the power back into their hands.
Absolutely. Super important because that's the success, that's the key to success, right?
So when I know what their issues are, I give them options. You can either go with the home essentials kit, but what if their issues don't cover anything in that? Then I would suggest let's go here, maybe a bigger kit, or you build your own kit. And that's when I go back, what's important to you? What do you want to solve right now? And if somebody says, I have carpal tunnel and I want to solve that issue, and my husband has carpal tunnel and I want to solve that issue, I'm not going to sell them a family physician kit because I'm not selling. Not going to advise getting a family physician kit. I say, well, then let's build your own kit. Let's get oils that will fit for that. And then as they go on that journey, then they'll feel the results of the oils. Then you introduce lifelong vitality to them. Yes, you're going to teach them about lifelong vitality, but if they're not ready to spin that, they don't know, you don't go there, right?
No, you don't.
But some people get it right away. Others don't.
And then it's okay if they don't. They've got to build that sense of trust.
Exactly.
And maybe have a few more experiences.
Exactly.
Right.
So get what they want, and they know that they'll use that, and that's the avenue I go.
One of our business partners, her opening order was 1 lavender. That's it. And she is a qualifying leg for us for Blue Diamond.
Isn't that awesome?
I love awesome. That. I know, but that's all she wanted.
So you don't have to sell them and get them on the Natural Solutions kit. If it didn't fit in their budget, let them decide. That's another thing, is letting them decide how much money. Do not go in with any preconceived notion because you say they drive a clunker car, their kids dress ratty. You don't know. They just don't. That might not be important to them. Absolutely. But when their husband can't work, they're going to say, I don't care. I've spent so much money on this and this and this, and it's not working. I will spend a couple $100.
Absolutely.
Do not pre-decide for them.
No, because it's not your budget, it's theirs. And everyone knows how to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right. Or they have grandma that they said if I could go to, and grandma will say, I'll help you with anything.
Absolutely.
And they feel comfortable with that. But again, sharing options, and they'll come and figure it out for themselves.
Sure.
If they feel it's necessary, they will do that.
Perfect. All right. So we're in that part of the class where we've got to have questions. So are we at the end now?
We're getting close to that.
Okay.
Okay. So when it's time, I don't want to leave it open to too many questions, and it depends on the size of the class. If I only have 2 or 3 and we've had good rapport, I'll say, you know what questions do you have? And I will have them ask. Now, if it's 8 to 10, and it's already gone to an hour, I always tell them, your mind can only endure what your seat can. And that's not my time. And that's when I will bring up, if you want more, because I know you have places to go, things to do. If you want more, let's set up a wellness consult.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
And let them know those options there.
So awesome for that.
So you got to really, it's not always the same thing every class because you're going to do a little bit different depending on the size.
Okay. So we're at the end of the class, right? We're in the middle of the class and we've got a lot of questions and we see time ticking. So when do we ask those trigger questions? When do we ask them, for the business? When are we going to ask them? So you all are here. We know every one of you came here tonight because you want these oils in your home, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that. Are we asking questions at that point or what are we doing?
They're ready, and just like you said, I'll go into that. Who would like to know how to get these oils? Most of them say, heck yeah, raise their hand, or a nod. They've given me permission to say, let me show you. And that's when I go into, it's like Sam's Club. Love that option.
Totally.
$35 gets you a wholesale account. Then you can shop anytime you want. Once a month, that's kind of like what I do with Sam's Club. Actually, I send my husband, but because he's always there, and I'll give him a list. Other times, people shop twice a month.
That's me.
So that's what you can do. And then I go into whatever issue you have, and we'll go over that together, one-on-one. If you can do it now after the class, great. Unless you've got to run off, but let's try and do it now. I've got so-and-so here. I've got Sharon here to help me. I've got another Sarah here to help me. And we'll go over that. So here, I just tell them the closing. Should I go through that right now, Sharon?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome if
Okay.
you did. Can I just say one more thing about
Sure.
that? You know how you were just talking about I have a Sharon or I have a Sarah. What is awesome about this point is if you are there as a trainer training your team how to do that 4-step duplication process into transitioning them into teaching their own classes. It's super important to edify them at that point, and that's exactly what you just did when letting them know there's another expert in the house besides myself, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I say, Sharon knows exactly what to do. She's the one that trained me, and I'm here helping Sarah, another Sarah, and training her and teaching her, and she knows a ton about oils. So we're just holding each other's hand for a little while, and she's totally right up your alley of what to do and where to go. She can help you.
Okay.
So that's what I do there.
So then you go into your clothes after that, right?
So here's what I say. I love these oils and I want everybody to benefit from them like I have. So the best way to get them is to have your own account. You don't need to call me and place your order. That's the beautiful thing doTERRA does. Is with that $35, you get your own account that you can log into and go shopping anytime you want. Now, for us that budget and say, okay, my doTERRA bill is on the 10th of every month. I do it monthly. There's a program that I will go over more individually with you, but to just give you an idea, I've been using the product for over a year. So I'm on the program of I get 30% back of everything I buy. So because we use exclusively everything doTERRA, shampoo, skincare, awesome. The Lifelong Vitality, it's a whole food supplement with omegas and everything. We've already talked about that. But I use everything doTERRA offers, and I get, a couple $100 back every month. We clean with the oils, we do everything. So there's a program for that if you're wanting to know about that. We'll talk about that individually, how that fits for your family. But here's another thing that doTERRA does. So that the $35, you can build your own kit according to the needs you have right now, and I hand out the form I give them, and it's laminated, and I show them, here's a couple of kits that are my favorites. And I only point out 3 because I'm not going to go over all 9 or 10. I don't even know how many's on there. How many's on there,
I
Sharon?
think there's between 9 and 12 actually now.
So I just show them 3. I show them the one that my husband started with. That's because they already know the story of my husband, how he got started first. And without my permission, which is weird, that my husband bought this $500 kit because he got significant savings and we had 6 children. So we needed a lot of oils. And the bonus part, he saved $90, so he got a free diffuser. So I will point out all the benefits of the Natural Solutions kit. And they get to try the vitamins and some other deep blue rub and the toothpaste. Then I'll say flip over on the back side where there's no purple strip at the top, and I'll say a good one to start off with if your budget just is let's just kind of get started, let's be simple, is the Family Physician kit. But if you look above the Family Physician kit, there is the Home Essentials kit. Now those are pretty much the exact same oils except for 2. Family Physician kit is the Slim and Sassy oil. Above it is the Past Tense that's in the Home Essentials. So, and then I point out the difference in the bottles. Family Physician kit is 5 mil, only 85 drops. Great value. You're saving almost 60, even though it says saving 50. You're actually saving more. But look at the above. Home Essentials is 3 times the amount of oil, but it's not 3 times the amount. It's only $100 more. So you get to decide which oils fit for you. And just so you know, you don't have to just buy the kit. You can add a few oils to it. If you need some for mood, you can always add the Balance oil or the Citrus Bliss, my 2 favorites of those mood oils. We use them all the time and go from there. Then when I'm done showing them that's when I pass out the wholesale price list and show them the savings they get, 25% savings, and then I'll pass around the enrollment form, and I'll say, fill out the part that has all the yellow highlights. And just get started on the top one. We can figure out if it's a kit or build your own as we talk to you individually. Now, I stop right there and I say, I've just given you a ton of information. If it was your first time, you just learned about essential oils, and it's kind of overwhelming, isn't it? And then I showed you how to get them, and you're like, I have no idea what to do. I've been there, done that with a lot of people. So right now we're going to have fun. And this is where I would throw in thank you to the host. Mm-hmm. The host is, you want to praise and be thankful because, yes, she just brought a few people new to doTERRA, and that's our mission, right, is to educate and teach people on these oils. So we want to thank her. And so that's when I say my host, because she hosted a class today, gets to pick from my oil bag. Everybody does something different. That's just what I do. You get to pick an oil, and I start pulling out the oils. Oh, there's a Breathe, there's a Digestin, there's a Melaleuca, oh, there's a Serenity in here. She gets to pick one of these oils for hosting a class. And because she had 5 people there, this is what I do. She has an oil bag to pick from, and she gets that. That's when I do the fun drawing. Now, all of you get in on the drawing. We're gonna, whatever you want to give away, whatever you want to give for the drawing, but this is what Nora Johnson does. I will do, depending on the season, what's going on, it might be an oil, it might be an aroma touch massage technique. During Diamond Club, I did not offer that because I couldn't get with them. Right now, I am offering that. If they don't want it, they can give it to the next person I draw. Then everybody in the class, the next 3, if there's 8 people there, the next 3 I draw would get two samples to take home, and the others would all get 1. So you can change it up, but you just want to show the host you're thankful. And then if it's the sample vials.
The quarter gram?
Yes.
Okay.
So I put like 10 drops per sample bottle. That's it. But another thing is, I said, if you'd like to host a class, if you know someone that could benefit from this, or you're thinking, my mother-in-law, always in a bad mood, she could benefit from these oils. If you just want to have a few members, and the way I say that, I don't say, if you want to throw a party, because they think, oh, I have to get 20 people there. If you just say, oh, just get a few family members that you know could benefit, that's a little more simple than saying, I'm not a party person, I don't host these things. They might want to think, because they're probably thinking, my brother-in-law needs it, my own mom, or my daughter, depending on their age, or somebody. If they can get 5 family members there, it's easy, and they don't feel like they have to clean their house too, because they know. And it's not a party, and you don't even have to serve. Another thing, I don't serve anything. Yeah, if you want to drink a water, go for it. But I'm very low key when I do my own, and that's what I tell anybody that has a class. So then all that information, we do the drawing, we're done, and then I say, now's the time. We are done with the class, but now is the time where you can ask me individually. You can, Sarah's going to be here, Sharon's going to be here, whoever's in your class will help you. So here's the time to ask more questions individually, and that's what I do to that point.
Perfect. So there's no doubt why she's diamond. You can see that right now. So we took our time, right?
Well, I like to keep my class short, and I like to mention also, I've just shown you a little bit, and you imagine I'm showing you 1 inch with my finger. I've shown you just a little bit of what the essential oils can do. So if you keep your class short, 25 minutes, then the next 15 to 45 minutes, depending on how many people are there, that's when you can take your time with them and help them individually. Then they're like, wow, they want to be there. If they said, I only have an hour, they end up staying longer because they want to talk to you. So that's why I think it's important. The class is 45 minutes, wrap it up in 5 to 10,
right?
And then you can spend the time helping them individually.
I totally agree. Because that's what we have to do. And at that point, when we are at that point to sit down with them, and they are taking that time to stay longer with us. Our biggest job is to what?
Listen, because you have 2 ears, 1 mouth, and 2 eyes. So that's a sign. There's your sign.
Totally.
Watch and listen more than you speak. And then when they're ready, they will ask you questions, and then you can share your knowledge with them.
You can only eat a piece of pie in the pie hole 1 bite at a time. Anyway,
Exactly.
some people like take the whole pie in their mouth, but I don't know. That's a lot of gagging.
Yeah.
So we don't want to gag our class
No.
people, right? Okay, so our egos often get in the way,
I'm
right?
all powerful. I know everything about oils.
So sometimes it's hard to listen when you have a big stinky ego, and because it becomes all about you, me. So
Nope.
this is such a key thing, whether you are working with a brand new client or you're working with your leaders and helping coaching them, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you make it about them. How can I help you? So when I sit down and they're just looking at me, I can tell they're ready to learn. I said, how can I help you? What's the best way I can help you? That's always what I start with. How can I help you?
Isn't that a beautiful question? I love it. Okay, so again, are we gonna after we ask them how can I help you? Are we gonna blah 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 blah?
I just did a class the other day, and here's some of the few responses I get. They don't know what to say. They've taken their breath. Where do I start is what they're telling me, So again, you watch for the signs that they're saying, and then someone says, I don't want a kit. There's so much information. I don't want a kit. I just want a few oils.
I don't want to participate in that loyalty thing.
Yeah. So then you can kind of take a step back and you say, okay, and you get what they want out of it and say, okay, so what do you want? What do you want if you don't want a big kit? I just want a few oils to try for something else. I already have lavender and peppermint and lemon from somebody, or
right.
whatever. And I say, okay. And I teach them the benefits of having their own account.
Oh my gosh.
You don't, so they're thinking, what's this account stuff? I say, I just teach them the benefits of having the account.
And show them that you're not going to go and borrow your neighbor's Costco or Sam's Club card to go to Sam's Club or Costco. You're going to want to go on your time. So if you're an early morning 10 a.m. or 7 a.m. at Sam's Club, right? Arriver to do your shopping, you're not going to be wanting to run to Kingdom Come and back, right?
Right.
You're going to want to be there early bird or late in the afternoon or right at lunchtime. So you don't want to be borrowing your friend's card that you have to go, tomorrow's my Costco day. When can I run by and pick up your card? So it's nice to do
show
it
them
that
the
way.
benefits, and still they have an option. I'm not ready for that yet. Some have said that, but others go, oh, I'm doing that. What's 35 bucks?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so you've done your close. We've already done it. We're closing up shop. We're telling everybody it's time to go home, that they are welcome to, and we're allowing them that space to create their accounts and get nurtured with what they want, ask their questions, get the information, and then what?
Then we just, have one or two that want to get started. They fill their paperwork, get it to me, and that's when I tell them, okay, you will get an email. You want to explain how this works. You'll get an email from doTERRA that has your IPC number, assigned number, and a password. And you say, I will call you within the week or two, whatever you decide, however you do it. I think 3 days is too much. You want to get them their oils and then call them a few days after that.
Right.
And kind of within a week, I say within that time frame. Everybody's different how they do that, but just to walk them through, get online, how to do it, and then just be there for them, to hold their hand and reassure them, I'm here to hold your hand.
Right.
I'm here to teach you, help you.
So if you follow the doTERRA Pro binder, there is a little brochure you can give called Discover. And in that Discover, it gives important phone numbers. It gives a place for you to write an IPC number down and their password and whatnot. Obviously, sometimes you can enroll people right on the spot, but many times they can take that home, but that's theirs that your information's already on there. It says your name, your contact information, and then it allows them to write down their own ID number and password. So another thing that's good with that is the wellness consult, because that is where you get people who say no to a loyalty reward program at the class. We'll usually do that loyalty reward program with that first consultation.
One thing I forgot to mention is I always do this is if they're my own personal enrollment and or somebody I'm working with, I always ask them, what's the best way to reach you? How's the best way to communicate with you? Are you on Facebook? And anybody that's working with me, I highly suggest, if you don't have a Facebook account, get on there, because I do a lot of communication that way. There's an oil for that. If you're interested in the business side, there's a business page and a ton of information there. And then, do you text? Do you email? Which phone number? Do you like to talk on the phone or you don't like to talk on the phone? How busy are you? You work? And I find out and I write it on those slips of paper on the drawing slip. I'll, if they wanted the drawing, what oil did they get? What did they take home with if they didn't get started? Because they're like, let me try these first. I just find the best way to communicate with them so that I'm not playing, they never pick up that phone. Well, that phone they never answer. So I can do it that way.
That happens at booths too.
Yeah.
When you do a venue like that, it's crazy. Okay. All right. So when we're done with that, we're finished, right? There's
Right.
nothing else.
Yeah. I just remember you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and ask more questions. And just how can I help you is probably the best question you could ever ask anybody. How can I help you? And then guide them along gently and not too much in their face.
Oh yeah, because then you're pushy, and then you're selling, and then you're just oppressive. So I love this, and we're going to have Nora back again to be able to talk about this when we're doing coaching with our leaders, and the art of doing these same kind of questions when we're working with leaders. So we wanted to thank you for your time and hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world.
Yep. Make it a great day. Make a difference today. And just like Patrick and Elise Shedevy teach, is those contacts. I just go about, live my life, and have oils. I'm prepared. I have A to Z guides on me and oils, and I'm ready to put them on somebody if they're willing. Again, by asking.
Perfect. All right. See you guys.
Bye.